I spoke to Phuong Nguyen about the political climate in Vietnam. She's an associate fellow at the Center for Strategic and International Studies. I spoke to her about Vietnam's foreign policy and key relations with countries like China. I also asked if she was surprised at the results of the 12th Party Congress.
It was expected for the most part. As you know, last year it was widely assumed that the Prime Minister would ascend to the post of party chief unchallenged. But as of last year, apparently the balance of politics in Hanoi has changed. And the party chief sort of gained back the power. And going into the Congress, people already expected that he would beat the Prime Minister, so to speak, to gain back that post. And so the result wasn't really unexpected. It was, I guess, a little bit of a surprise for Prime Minister Zoom's supporters because he was nominated by the delegates to remain in the next government. The party went ahead and allowed his nomination, but he never got past that round. So he will be out of the next Central Committee and out of the next government.
Why don't we start here in the U.S.? How is this likely to change the relationship with the United States? I know that Vietnam went with the TPP, and it seems like the relationships have grown stronger. How do you describe it?
The United States, I think, believe that this transition will not impact the overall trajectory of the relationship. As you know, Jaume has paid a visit here, a visit that both sides described as historic. So the fact that he is staying on, I think they can still find a way to work with him. The most important thing for the United States as of now is to see Vietnam go through with the reforms that it has promised to make under the Trans-Pacific Partnership Trade Agreement. And I think that will be the driver of the relationship. Trade and investment ties will still go ahead under the TPP. So there should be no major impacts there. On political and security cooperation, you might see a little bit more caution from the part of the next Vietnamese government toward deepening military cooperation with the United States. And that is not unexpected, as we know. And the United States, I think, is comfortable with the pace of their military relationship. China has taken a very keen interest in this leadership transition in Vietnam, as you may know. And as we speak, there is a Chinese special envoy about to visit Hanoi right now, or already in Hanoi, to take stock of the transition and see what it could mean for the Vietnam-China relationship. If you look at their political reports that Vietnamese leaders approved at the Party Congress, they said very clearly that China will continue to be the #1 foreign policy priority for Vietnam. So the consensus in Hanoi is to maintain cordial relations with China, to keep the party-to-party channels going, and for the most part to keep the stability on both sides of the border. Obviously, there's the sub-Genesee issue, and I think even with tensions going on in the South China Sea, Vietnam's leadership will want to keep this relationship stable. So in this sense, if you look at the reappointments of Party Chief Jaume, it was almost a consensus in Hanoi to maintain the status quo in the Vietnam-China relationship.